Good afternoon, good evening. How's everybody doing today? This is Saeed. Welcome to my New York Football Giants sports channel, New York Sports Channel. How's everybody doing? We had a good game versus the Rams. We came up short at the end there, Crosby missing the field goal, but overall, it was a good showing. Team showed up. We played a hell of a game. No negatives came out of this game. Very proud of the team. It was just at the end there, gave up the Crosby couldn't make the winning field goal, so suffered our 11th loss of the year, unfortunately. If you're new to the channel, this is Saeed. This is my New York Football Giants channel. If you would like to subscribe, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave me comments, let me know what the other Giants fans are thinking about, what's going on in your minds. I know it's disappointing, but seasons comes up. We gotta close out the season on a positive note. So that was not the way to do it. I mean, they showed up, but at the end, the W matters. So it is what it is. We move on. I'll get into the Philadelphia game later in the week. Let's close out this 23 season. But overall, we're looking at the Rams today, the game. Let's check out the stats a little bit. I like to follow everything, in particular. Actually, what happened, not talking on top of my head. So Tyrod Taylor had 319 yards, one rushing touchdown. Slayton, 4 receptions, 106 yards, a touchdown. Barkley on 12 attempts, 39 yards. Barkley still tried, but again, the line didn't help him any. So defensively, Okereke leading with 10 tackles. He's come really solid for us. He's become really solid for us. And, last few weeks, he's always leading in tackles, which is a good thing. So McLeod had one forced fumble. Dory Jackson, one forced fumble. Simmons, the only guy with one sack. Thibodeau has disappeared on the face. He had two tackles. That's it. He's disappeared off the. I don't know. We don't know what's happened to him. So Belton had an awesome monster day. 2 picks. Special teams. Olzowski, the European player, had one touchdown on the return punt. Again, the main difference was Crosby missing the field goal at the end. A lot of Giants fans are saying that's why. Obviously, Crosby was released by Green Bay, where he stayed most of his career, and he couldn't make the field goals anymore. And we were in desperate need with our kickers getting hurt, so we signed him, but he didn't show up for us. I mean, that was a very makeable kick for him. I've seen him in Green Bay play all those years with Aaron Rodgers, and he wouldn't ever miss a field goal like this. But again, he doesn't have it. Some people were saying there was wind, but there's always wind in MetLife Stadium. So again, very proud of the guys. They showed up, had a good game. Tyrod Taylor played his heart out. I mean, the guy was running. I mean, passing. He led the game with 40 yards rushing. He did everything possible for this team on that day. But again, at the end there, we should have won. I mean, my thing is don't leave it to a field goal. Execute on your offense, get the touchdowns, defensively play good. Don't do the best you can, hold them to less points. That's the way to win it. But when it comes down to these kicks, you need a very reliable kicker. And Crosby just had signed with us, so we didn't know if he still has it. And obviously, that question was answered. He doesn't. Probably will be released. But 5-11, unfortunately. So yeah, defensively, Okereke, was leading with tackles. Defense always showed up. Granted, Thibodeau has disappeared on the front runner. So, but was an overall good showing. And we move on from here. 5-11. Rams needed that game. We held a solid Rams team. Could have win at the end. Defense showed up, always have been last several games. Defense has been there, but this rotating QB, I call it, Coruscant. So it is what it is, and we move on to Philadelphia to wrap up this 23 season. Again, this was just a wrap up on the 26-25 loss to the Rams. We suffered, and time to move on. Again, if you're new to the channel, my name is Saeed. I do these New York Giants videos. I would tap into other sports around New York once in a while. I'm also a fan of Knicks, and in hockey, New York Rangers, which are dominating right now, the top of the conference, proudly. Happy about that. Knicks are doing good. They landed a couple of players from the trade, which really did good versus Minnesota. I was watching this past weekend. So good going on. It's good stuff going on in the city, New York. So if you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave me comments. What other Giants fans are talking about? What's going on in your heads as far as draft coming up for us? We have the 5th pick, and look to rebuild. First and foremost, the priority needs to be the offensive line. Gotta address the offensive line. We haven't. I don't know how long. We rebuilt it last year, thinking that that was the answer, but unfortunately, it was a disaster. We need solid players on the line if they want to establish any kind of offense. Because we know what's his name, Daniel Jones is coming back. He's been paid big time. He ain't going nowhere. So at least give him the lines. Let's see what he can do instead of just taking the snap and running for his life. So that's where we're at. 5-11. New York Football Giants. It still hurts for me to say that. I mean, after last year's run, we were hoping for a lot better things this season, but they never showed up. Jones wasn't the answer. He regressed, unfortunately. Tyrod Taylor, did his best, and Danny DeVito is just Tommy DeVito. I always call him accidentally Danny DeVito, the short actor. He did good for us, DeVito, Italian Magic. We won those 3 games. A little bit cheer up on the overall sad season, but that's where we're at. Not much to talk about. How can you talk about a 5-11 team? What can you talk about other than the draft and rebuilding? We had a lot of high expectations, but it didn't turn out that way. It was disastrous. 5 wins you have to call it a disaster. What can you call it? So that's where we're at. There's a lot of talk going on about the draft. They're going to pick a quarterback. Why they're going to pick a quarterback when Jones has already been paid and he's the starting quarterback of this team, according to the coach and the owner? So how do you, other Giants fans, assume, that we're going to get a quarterback? It's not going to be a quarterback. It's going to be an offensive lineman. The 5th pick has to be, absolutely has to be. And get some free agent guards, tackles, offensive line, linemen. Then you move on to the other skill positions. But if they don't address the line, we're going to be here talking again next year, God forbid, the losing season. We don't want that. So, you gotta address your most biggest weakness, which is the line. So hopefully we do that. Again, this is Saeed. Wrap up the Rams game that we lost. A missed field goal by Crosby. Always go Giants. And, would love to hear from you other Giants fans in the comments. What you guys think. Which way this team is headed. In the off season, what your expectations will be next year, depending on the draft and who we pick up in the free agency. So looking forward to that. It's kind of relieved this season is coming to an end. It was a disaster. So Thank you for watching. This is Saeed. Always go Big Blue. We'll see you on the next time with the Philadelphia Eagles final game of the year. Thank you. Go Big Blue.